my mind so I forget. Sink your teeth into my bones, dig me out, then fill the hole. Tear me apart.
Hello everybody, Blood Heals here again, playing some League of Legends. We have my jungle, how I jungle Hecarim here. Starting off, I'm going to go through the runes masteries. For my runes, I go attack speed marks, movement speed quints, armor, seals, and magic resist glyphs. I usually do a mixture of glyphs, scaling, and then non-scaling, but you can do whatever you want. For my masteries, I do 921. I start off with the 9 in the offensive tree, and I go with the CDR, and then I get the improved ghost, and then I go for the armor pen and attack damage. Moving on though, into the build that I go, I start Hunter's Machete, 5 potions, and then Hecarim's a very delicate champion, I'd say. He's not very great in high level of play, but in gold you can get away with it. I build him damage at first, but then I go into tankiness, and I have 2 damage items, so I can actually do quite a bit of damage in team fights. But then I go straight tank, so I survive. But starting off, I go straight into Lizard Elder, which you got to be very careful with ganking with that, because you can do a lot of damage, you can deal a lot of damage, but if you get in a sticky situation where you get a counter ganked, or if you have to dive a tower, you can get killed pretty easily with that build because you're really squishy early on. But you have to utilize the heal from your W to be able to do that build very well. But if you are having troubles with that build, you can go into the Ancient Golem. But besides that, after the Elder Lizard or Ancient Golem, I usually go either straight into Spirit Visage, or if I'm snowballing, you can go either into Trinity Force or into Iceborne Gauntlet. That's only if you're snowballing pretty hard though. Usually I'll go into Spirit Visage second for the extra heal on your W. It's so good. I level my Q and then W, but yeah. Moving on though, after I get either my Spirit Visage, I usually go for the Ancient Golem next, or if I go for Iceborne Gauntlet next, or if I go for Iceborne Gauntlet second item, I'll go for Spirit Visage third item. In between those 2 items, even before you finish Lizard Elder, you want to pick up at least first boots. And then you can for options on boots, you can either upgrade them to Moby boots if you want to get them early enough to get some good counter ganks or ganks in, or you can go for armor boots if they don't have a lot of CC. Go for armor boots. If they do have quite a bit of CC, go for Merc Treads, and then you'll have that tenacity, which is really necessary for tanks that jump in, so you don't get CC'd by the support and you can't get on the ADC. But if they don't have that much CC, go for the Merc Treads or the Moby boots, or you can actually go for Swiftness boots if you really wanted to. After boots and after those 3 items, I always go for Randuin's for 4th item, because the armor on that and the slow is really strong on Hecarim. So after you get the Randuins, you can go into either Sunfire if you need more armor, or you could go into Warmogs maybe. That's about it really. If your support doesn't have Locket of the Iron Solari, you could build into that even. But any tanky items after those core items that I said are really good. Thornmail even as well for really armor, or for really AD based teams is really good as well. Moving on past the build, with the leveling, I level my Q and then I level W second, and then always take R whenever you can, and then max your E last. For summoner spells, I do Smite Ghost, obviously, because the Ghost is so strong with your E for ganking. I always start on the bottom half of the map, either on purple side or blue side. You can start red or blue. It's pretty much it for the guide portion of the video. I'm going to move on to just commentating over this game here and what you could do better, why I do what I do, and show tips and tricks on how I utilize Hecarim in the jungle. Here I notice Udyr was top lane, so I go right ahead and invade his red because I have the timer on it, because I ended up taking his red starting off, so I know when it was going to spawn. And even if you don't know when it's going to spawn, a good trick to do is, if you know what buff they started, if you know they started their blue or their red, their first buff will spawn at 7 minutes and 10 seconds. And then the next one will spawn roughly around 8 to 9 minutes. I'm not for sure on the timing of that one, but that's always the best rule of thumb that I usually go with. Usually around 8 or 9 minutes. It's just the distance that they walk from their first buff to their second buff and kill it. So yeah, but it's always 9 minutes or 7 minutes and 10 seconds for the first buff to spawn. So I knew that, so I went straight there, took his red buff, and I see that he has blue buff on him. That means he took his blue buff, so I know that his blue buff's not there, so I can't counter jungle that. I run straight bot lane to try to save this tower. Jinx ults it, but there's no way I'm going to be able to save this tower, so I'm going to go, because I know Ahri's coming down, so I'm going to chase down this Leona. I'm going to get in range to get my slow on her with the red buff, and then I'm going to ulti, pick up that kill, then fear Udyr back into us, and then I'm going to pick up the kill on Leona, and Ahri's going to pick up the kill on Udyr, and Ahri soaks that ultimate from Caitlyn, but she flashed and last hits her with her headshot there and kills her. She stayed a little bit too long because she took a tower shot, and she soaked the ultimate from me. But here we can push the wave up now. I can back off, and I ping for Dragon because we just killed their jungler and support. And we see Ryze in mid lane and Wukong in top. We see Ryze not moving, but Caitlyn is moving, and she drops a trap over right here, but we smite it away, and she can't stop us. Free Dragon there, which is really good. That was the first Dragon of the game. As you can see in my build so far, I have Lizard Elder and normal boots. This is roughly about the build that I want to go for. I want to get Lizard Elder as fast as possible, because if we wait too long to get Lizard Elder, it won't be enough to impact your snowball. So I go back. I have enough gold. I could have bought Spectral's Cowl, because I know I want to go tanky after this. But I see I have enough for Mobies and Negatron Cloak. So I pick up the Mobies because I want to pick it up early enough to utilize it. And I pick up the Negatron Cloak. I come in bot lane, and this what the greatest thing about Hecarim is you can come through lane, and they can't run away fast enough if you have Mobies and your E. So I come in, we pick up the kill on Leona. We keep going because Ahri's here. Ahri misses the charm, which is bad, but she used her ultimate. I ultimate Udyr to fear him back into us. Jinx ulties, we pick up. Someone ends up picking the kill, which is bad, but it's whatever. Jinx goes a little bit too deep, wanting to dive Caitlyn, but we wouldn't have been able to survive that because I'm not tanky enough, and neither is Sona. Caitlyn ults me randomly, but that's fine. I'm going to go on to blue buff and use the W to heal up off of blue buff and take that pretty fast, because I'm with Lizard Elder. You can clear camps super fast with Hecarim, especially with maxing your Q. It increases your clear time so much. Ahri's kind of complaining here that I'm not giving her blue, but Hecarim, that's another thing with Hecarim, is their mid lane's not really going to be able to get blue, because if you give away blue too much, you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to gank, because you can't clear and gank at the same time if you don't have blue buff. So that's one bad thing. Unless you're going to ward up and pink their blue buff and try to steal theirs, you're not going to be able to give your blue buff away. So keep your blue buff for yourself for this one game, or for the games that you play as Hecarim, because you need them. I go bot lane, try to get a gank off, but they back off, and I see them at Dragon, so I leave. I'm gonna go towards Dragon here, try to come around and maybe catch them out, but they've just left that lane completely. I'm gonna go mid to try to catch Ryze, or try to go for their red, but Ryze catches me out. So I also saw Udyr go towards my red buff, so I'm gonna go up there and try to catch him with Malphite. He takes my red buff because I see it on him, so I ghost E onto him. Go on to him, keep going on to him, ignore Wukong, fear him into the wall so he can't run away, get the kill. Malphite ultis onto him, I get the kill, pick up the kill on Wukong, so I get double buffs from that, which is really good. Now I noticed that he had their blue buff, so I can't go and steal. I just noticed it right there, I just checked it, I was like, oh wait, no, I have the blue buff. So I know that the blue buff's not there, so I can't counter jungle that. I go reset the timer on that. I should have, instead of going to race here, I should have went straight to their red buff, because I could have stole that easily. But I didn't. I think now I realize that I should have went right away, but I messed that up a little bit. So always be ready to jump on opportunities like that. Like always take control of opportunities like that. But Caitlyn took the red because I waited too long. So I come in bot lane here. They don't have any wards up. I ping like crazy. Tell my teammate to go in. I come in with my E straight onto Caitlyn because I don't want Jinx to die. Pick up the kill on on Caitlyn, and pick up the kill on Leona. It's a double kill. We can push up this lane and take this tower easily because we lost no health from that, and Jinx can lifesteal up and also get heals from Sona. So we see this Rise down here. He's really squishy at this point. He doesn't have much for... I don't think he has his Roa yet, so I go straight in. Jinx lands the slow. I go in with my E and knock him back, and we kill him pretty easily. He should not have been there with 3 people there, and with a Sona and Hecarim. There's no way he was going to live through that. So I'm going to I was going to go back. I see Ahri in mid lane fighting a suitor, so I run up here with my E. I go ulti onto him, get my slowdown, and end up killing Udyr, but Wukong goes on him, so I come up here. I think I could take Wukong, but Leona shows up. I think I could still kill him, but then the ulti, and it's too much damage. I overestimated myself there, not having a second damage item there. If I would have had my Iceborne Gauntlet or Trinity Force there, I could have probably taken him, but I didn't, so I made a mistake on my part. But it was my first death, so it's not that big of a deal, and Malphite goes ulti onto Wukong and gets the kill up there with the final Q. And there he gets double buffs onto Malphite, which Malphite's really strong with double buffs in a 1v1 situation. Blue's up, Ahri's really whining about it, so I end up just giving it to her for this time. Because I'm doing really good. I'm 7-1 at this point, so I don't really need it that much. We pink dragon. I want to go for it. I know it's warded, but it don't matter too much because we're so far ahead. And Ryze is showing top lane, so their mid lane is top lane. They can't do much. We pick up the dragon. Go for Udyr here. He sees us coming, so he just smites a minion and runs. They kind of get in a little engagement down there, but they kind of get caught out mostly, so I can't really help them too much, and yeah, they kind of die. I pick up, or we're waiting at tower to try to not to let them push the tower. So I see their blue buffs up, so I go towards that. I try to get this. This is probably the worst thing I've done in this game. Through this whole game, I smite the blue buff with like 10 extra health. I'm just like, oh my goodness, no. Malphite comes in and saves me, but I can't do much because I have no mana and I have no health now. Since I messed up that blue smite, and it's just, I hate that when I do that. I just smite at like 10 less health. But yeah, what you can do with smiting is you just look at the amount of damage your smite does and watch how much your basic attacks and your abilities are doing, and just watch the health of the minion that you're killing, and then as soon as you can burst it close enough, do the last auto attack or the last ability, and then smite instantly. But that takes a little bit of knowing your champion and also knowing just being being used to smiting and stuff like that. So practice makes perfect with that. Here I get away from that. Ahri gets caught out by Wukong top lane after they take the tower. They got the tower, so it's worth it. Here I'm clearing camps out so we keep the gold flow coming in. Push up mid lane here. Leona stays way too close, so I just W and get behind her, and she flashes. I tried to push her back there, but she flashed away too soon. Easy. Me and Jinx can easily pick up that kill, especially with red buff. See Udyr over here, so I go towards him, but I'm not going to catch him, so we're just going to go push this mid tower here. I clear the wave with my W and Q. I knock him out of being able to run straight into tower, but we need to run because everyone's showing up in mid lane now because they're not anywhere else. And because we're pushing onto inhibitor tower. I see him really close to being able to pick up my Iceborne Gauntlet, so I'm going to clear the couple camps here and try to pick that up. Always try to memorize the prices of all your items so that you know when you can go back to pick stuff up. I'm not quite close enough, but I recall anyways, pick up the Sheen, and I want to wait for that, but I can't because it's not enough gold, so I go towards golems. Get to kill them, that'll give me enough gold to pick up the Iceborne Gauntlet, but I can't go there because they're pushing down mid lane really hard. So I just go mid lane to stop them from pushing that. I go towards the blue, gonna pick this up so I can use it to sustain clear the mid lane and also initiate when we need to with the, so I don't have the mana to be able to do that. I'm gonna come in around because I have great ghost up. I could ghost in there, force an initiation, and we could win the fight, but they back off. We could still fight here because of the fact that they don't have a tower, so I jump onto Rise here. Their whole team comes in, but I'm tanky enough at this point that I can tank their team up a little bit with my W. Ulti onto Caitlyn, zone Caitlyn and Rise out of the fight. Udyr has to come back and help get me off of them, and my team cleans those two up, and we 2 for 0, and we push up mid lane now, jump onto Caitlyn underneath tower with Malphite ulti. Pick her up, we pick up Caitlyn, and then Wukong stays too long, kill Caitlyn. Push this inhibitor. We see bot lane's pushing up really hard, so we're going to go down there, push that tower as well. I'm going to clear the minions and try to zone Rise off of getting into the lane. Kill the wave, push the tower, and now we're going to push up. Rise comes out too close to me, get the slowdown, I W in, we get ulti, Sona ulti, and we jump onto Rise here, kill Rise off right here, and I back out of tower range because I can't tank that tower anymore. Kill Leona with the Jinx ulti. I ulti back in onto Caitlyn, push her back into the team. She flashes to the other side of me, but we pick her. Jinx picks up that kill. I try to zone those two off of Jinx as much as possible, but I'm not going to be able to do it. She flashes away. Try to lure them away far enough. I try to heal off the minions as much as possible, so I'm gonna try to 1v1 Wukong here. It's a mistake on my part because I knew he had the clone, and I wouldn't be able to kill him without being able to basic attack him very much. So that was my mistake. I should have just left. I was easily could have made it out of that. But pick up Merc Treads, like I was saying earlier, with the build. If they have quite a bit of CC and you won't have Ancient Golem here if you pick up the Elder Lizard. So I just pick up the Merc Treads instead and then start building into a Randuin's. Here I'm going to pick up the red buff and we're going to try to push top lane because we got inhibitor down in mid, but we try to go for bot inhibitor, I believe, here after I pick up this red. Just because of the fact that if we pressure bot inhibitor, it's more important than outer top tower because of the fact that it's another inhibitor. But we push up mid lane here to get more pressure on the bot half. See Udyr, we're going to catch him out, but he goes for a lap, so I leave him alone. Ahri keeps chasing though. She can catch, if she catches him, she can kill him 1v1. She ulties around, tries to kill him, gets the last little wisp and kills him. Go on to the golems just to lifesteal as much as possible and keep the gold flow while I wait for my team to catch up in the lane so we can push it all the way up. Push the minions in, and I go in to attack the tower as much as possible. They try to harass me as much as they can. Right here, we should have actually dove on that wave, but we were waiting for, I think it was Malphite ulti, but we didn't go in. Now I'm like, we gotta go in on this wave here, but Wukong is alive now. Or not Wukong. Udyr is alive, so we ended up backing off and going to top tower to get the outer tower there because they can't contest that. If they try to contest that, we can come in behind them and we'll kill them all. So we come up top lane, Jinx pushes that up, I have to grab the wolves while she's pushing that up. Go onto the tower, take this tower out really, really fast with the minion wave and the Jinx and her passive. Go onto the tower because they did not rotate fast enough, get the tower, get this inhibitor, and Wukong ultis onto Caitlyn, or Jinx and them, so I ulti onto Rise into Caitlyn. Take out Rise, Malphite ultis onto Caitlyn, and we pretty much take out Caitlyn here. But I get exhausted, so I can't do quite enough damage. Take out Caitlyn there with Malphite, and we take out Leona with Malphite. Udyr comes back in, but we can take him out as well. Kill Wukong first because he's the lowest, but he gets back to tower range. We turn on to Udyr. I'm going to try to back out because I'm too low of health. Malphite's going to peel for me as much as possible and try to kill him. I don't know if he ends up getting that kill or not. I don't think so. No, he does not. He starts running as well. I back up even more because I don't want them to come out and kill me. So we got the top inhibitor, and also Ahri pushed in bot inhibitor and got that tower and inhibitor. Their mid inhibitor got back up, and Ahri and Malphite finished off that inhibitor, which is really good for us. I pick up my Giant's Belt and my Warden's Mail for the Randuin's Omen. I'm going to go and pick up the blue here. Malphite and Ahri take the dragon. And we come down to do the finish the dragon by back. I'm going to pick up my Randuin's Omen because I have enough for it now. And that'll be really nice in the team fights against Caitlyn. So We're gonna push up mid. We're gonna pressure all the lanes and pick up Baron, and then end the game is what we're gonna try to do. Because with the double super minion spawning, they're not gonna have enough time to clear the minions and stop us from doing Baron. So I'm gonna push this up as much as I can, and then we're gonna go for Baron here because they can't contest it at all. Otherwise, they'll lose their base, and they'll probably lose if they do try to contest it. But we go straight into the Baron here because we can do it for free. After the Baron, we're going to try to push in and win. So yeah, just I'm watching my mini-map. Malphite goes up to zone them in mid lane so they don't completely think that we're taking Baron at this point, but even if they do think that we are, they can't contest this anymore because we just finished it now. Malphite is doing enough to pressure the lanes as well as keep them at their base so they can't come and stop us. Give Ahri the blue buff since I already have mine. Take the wolves, I don't know why, just because. Now we're going to go in mid lane here. What you want to do at this point is just push all the lanes up. You don't necessarily want to fight because you don't have to, but you can if you're really far ahead, you can fight. Why not? But we're going to go in here onto Udyr and them, but we're going to end up winning this fight pretty easily. This is going to be the end of the game, guys. We're going to finish off the game right here. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is my How I Jungle Hecarim guide. Thanks for watching. If you like this guide, there's plenty more of a lot of other champions on the channel. I'll also be coming out with a lot more champions. But that's all I got for today. Go check out the channel, subscribe, like if you like the video, comment if you want to see what you want to see otherwise. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.